Yeah. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. OnChain revolution, you're not bullish enough. Every day we steady looking at the market, and we gon' tell you how to get started. Chain abstraction, fear and greed index, always looking at price action. Roll call in advance, you don't even gotta mention. I swap it in the decks, you're not bullish enough. Traded in the segs, you ain't trenching enough. We do that market recap. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to rehab. Shizzy and Yagobi. OnChain revolution, network in the art. Every day we go live, baby, you know where we are. We mention all the networks and the crypto. Need some more liquidity. Flipping and trading is the recipe. Too many protocols to count. I get high and I'm never coming down. Number go up, then I'ma say peace. Yeah, you thought that I was gonna leave. Yeah, we just getting started, man. OnChain revolution. Every day. Bring the beat back. Eyes everywhere, gotta be careful with volatile meme coins. You can get some bread if you round trip it, then you gon' regret. All this information in my head. BYOR, touch grass instead. Nobody really knows how it's gonna end up today. Somebody gotta tell you what's happening today. I don't let the money change me no way. OnChain revolution, here to stay. Yeah, say I'm Sage, man. Voodoo 2 on the way. Yeah. Nicky's. Yeah. OnChain revolution. OnChain. Hey, OnChain revolution. Bitcoin not an illusion. Market recap, then I do a roll call. You're not bullish in the vocal. Look at the price action, trend. Yeah, send it to the deck. Sell it through the spec. Order knows the best. Too much Bitcoin, gotta go to read. If you end up bearish, gotta put the knee pad. Let me see the comments. Look at the fear and greed index. Bridge. Look at the chart.
Welcome back to OnChain Revolution. My name is Shizzy on the channel. We cover the entire Bitcoin crypto ecosystem. What is up, guys? We have an amazing show for you guys today. We're live from the OnChain Hour, and today is going to be awesome, guys, because we have Ethereum just under 4,700. It hit 4,700, guys, with a little bit of pullback right now. Pullback kind of throughout the board here in the last hour or so, but we got Bitcoin sitting at 121,000, guys, just close to that all-time high. It's crazy. We got Bitcoin gearing up towards the 123 all-time high. We have Ethereum about to pass its all-time high from 2021 of 4,800. It's exciting because these are two indicators that I truly believe are going to set the market on fire. We do have data points tomorrow that I think a lot of people go risk off on days like today. They are PPI at 8:30 tomorrow morning and then jobs number at the same time. This could spark an absolute insane pump going into tomorrow, into Friday, maybe a cool off over the weekend. And then next week, there's not much data at all. We could seriously see all-time high after all-time high all week next week, guys. This is truly exciting leading up to the Jackson Hole meeting with Jerome Powell. I'm hearing a lot about this Jackson Hole meeting, that this could be a potential turning point for the entire markets, right? It's already kind of bullish, but that could be the match that sets everything ablaze for the next 2-3 months. Kind of what we were expecting. Everything is aligning to what we were expecting. Everything is about to explode, in my opinion. We might have a cool off in September, a little bit of a breather going into October, November, and December. I don't even know if we do, though, because we do have the cut, the half basis point cut that Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, is calling for. I mean, there's so much stuff in this market. And one thing I'm noticing too, so a bull market isn't just when numbers fly up. It's when new projects and new things come online. And I'm looking across my board here, and there's a lot of new stuff that is dropping right now. And it's really cool. I'm going to dig into that a little deeper today and probably have it for you guys tomorrow. But I'm looking and I'm like, wow, this is new. This is new. This is new. And that is a bull market when you're just constantly seeing new projects being released. And really excited to get into those as well. But today's show is going to be amazing. We've got an ETH fork that is going to make everything a lot easier for Web 2. Get into that. And then we're going to have a new segment we're going to be doing today, basically about the trenches news. We're going to be digging into what is happening deep in the trenches. I sent my man Yagobi out there with an umbrella. He's been doing deep research in the trenches, so you guys can learn from him and learn what is going on in there. So that'll be at 12:30 today. We'll have that. We do have the great guys from Sats Terminal joining us at 12. We have the CEO Stan. So if you are curious of what's happening with Sats Terminal and how you can make a bag by just using Sats Terminal, you're going to want to tune into that as well. Free money. That's all of our partners are just doing for our community here, and I want you guys to be a part of that. So without further ado, let's bring in my guy here, get this show started as always. Mr. Yagobi, what's up, buddy?
What's up,
man? How you feeling today, brother?
I feel great. I feel good. I'm not worried about ETH pulling back just a little bit. We ran pretty strong leading up into the early hours of this morning. I believe it was 47.25, somewhere around there. And it's natural to have a pullback day, right? TradFi they trade these assets, and there's trading firms and stuff that it's about making profit. And, they can sell whenever they're up a bit, right? So that's a part of their strategy, but doesn't worry me at all. I'm still extremely bullish. Look, I feel very confident in kind of the way I perceived the market in terms of Ethereum, because I just feel like it's been pretty easy in terms of, as long as you're looking at the larger time frames of where it's heading. It was basically telling you a story that it was manipulated in the beginning of the year intentionally to really prop Bitcoin up even more as much as possible. And then now it's being, I wouldn't say manipulated, but like catching up, I would say. So really excited about that, because you're starting to see other tokens like, the meme of this cycle. There's multiple memes of this cycle that are strong, with strong communities, but Fartcoin is one of the top. And people have been talking about Fartcoin possibly, going on a parabolic run here in the next 2-3 months, right? You got to remember, when Doge took off, it went from 2 billion to 28 at the peak, right? So what can Fartcoin do? What can Dog Go to the Moon do? What can these large community meme coins do? It's exciting. You can get really lost in there, and we will go over the trenches, and it's a little bit more the research that you sent me out to do. I got beat up for sure, but I came back up out of the ground. I put my fist up and I said, hey, I'm surviving, and I'm learning the trenches, and we're going to go over a little bit of that later as well. But you guys better be prepared, because I'm going to tell you right now, it's dirty over there. You better have some protective gear and stuff like that.
I'm excited for that, guys. That'll be at 12:30 today. We're going to dig into the trenches, something we probably should have done a while back. So it's going to be cool to kind of see what is going on over there. But let's jump into our show here. Big news from the ETH part of things. We got PUPS Rune hits Kraken. So that the announcement here is, I think, going to be hours away here. Let me show my screen. All right, so this is it right here. So right now, if you go to the Kraken app, you go into the app, you can type in the word PUPS. You'll see PUPS Bitcoin. It's there. It's only in post-only mode. You can't. I'm not sure if you can deposit yet. I haven't tried or anything, but it is on there. So this is now. We had originally Dog, then we had Lobo, then we had Mim, and now we have PUPS on there. He did post. The CEO did post. Billy patiently waiting. So it does feel like Billy's going to be next, and then potentially Gizmo. And that'll be the big six, right? The big six runes. But how do you feel about Kraken listing PUPS potentially today?
Yeah, so this is interesting. There obviously we talked about them adding the infrastructure for runes, and it wouldn't make sense for them to only list Dog. And now this is all starting to come to light of what their plan is. It's single rollouts. And it is the big six, like you said. And we'll see if any others get added, which it won't be too difficult, as long as you can build a community and have some hype around it. I do think that, there probably needs to be some, a better home base for runes other than Magic Eden. They've done a great job. Sats Terminal, obviously you can use them, but they're an aggregator, right? So they're kind of doing their job as an aggregator. But I'm talking about maybe kind of like a go-to degen spot, which could be like, like a scalable layer, or like the arch or the middle or whatever. We're going to see what happens, but I think that can really propel and keep the runes momentum going. But this is a great start because basically this solidifies runes in terms of a respectable standard that exists currently on Bitcoin.
Yeah, absolutely love it, man. This is something that I was kind of expecting Billy to go next, but I should have realized Pup's 30 million, right? Pups has more holders than Billy, I think. Let's actually take a look at that. Let's see what's
No,
going on over
actually,
here.
Billy has more holders than
Billy
Pups. Or
has
last,
more.
yeah, when I last checked, it has a
So
little bit
Billy
more.
has 14K and Pups is 12. You're right. Damn, Pups holders dropped drastically, didn't they? They were over like 18,000,
Not
I think, at
real.
one point. No?
Well, I think both pulled back a little bit once Runes
Gotcha.
kind of went through the hard times, the hard times. But I will say that the uh, the number has always been kind of that similar ratio to where Billy's been about about 1,200 to 1,500 more holders than Pups. Pups has a little bit more capital firepower, I think, at times. Maybe the Farmer Joes or the groups that do it, but I think when both kind of go into the retail, mainstream type of market, then I think we'll see which one can really thrive in terms of market cap and stuff. But we'll see. The good thing is Kraken's given Runes a chance. It's kind of like all I need is a chance type of situation. Kraken
Yeah.
has said that. I don't think there's excuses anymore for Runes, right? Like it's like, oh, no one wants to pay attention to us. Well, Kraken has said, hey, look, we'll step up to the plate. We added infrastructure. We're listing you. So now I think it's up to the Bitcoin ecosystem community, the Runes holders, to really make a lot of noise. Dogs has shown that they can do that, but it's now time for other communities to do the same thing. You got to onboard the normies if you really want these meme coins to go viral like Doge did in 2020, right, or early 2021. So that's the task I think at hand, is be loud and be proud of your community, and let's see who else can get listed.
Yeah, 100%. And with this stuff right now, so we do know that when Mim launched on Kraken, it was like boom 40%, but it also had the Coinbase tweet the day before, right? So that was all kind of together. When Lobo got on, it jumped 40%. When Dog got on there, it jumped 40% that day. They do cool off after that. Are you kind of expecting Pups to kind of pump on this Kraken announcement here probably in a few hours?
Um,
Because it really hasn't moved yet. I mean, it's up 12%, which some could say it's a big, right? But it's not that Kraken listing pump.
Yeah, so look, I think that there's two ways to really pump coins. There's one that's really heavily manipulated, and you see that I think with some pump fund coins, you see that like the stuff on Solana sometimes, and then you get to see an organic side that kind of flows in and folds in. I think that organic side really helped a coin like Fartcoin. I think it went in like Fartcoin probably got some manipulation, at some points, but like for it to go into like escape velocity, yes, you can manipulate, you can have VCs go in and have success that way, but for sustainability, that's really hard to do. But they can do it. Like you see that with Pengu.
Yeah.
And that is just straight business, investors and stuff. I think they did that elegantly how they did that. Okay, now there was some organic that flow into there because they have community. Fartcoin's another example of that. But I think there's stuff like Troll that pumped recently on Solana that got to 200 million. I think that was Cabal manipulated and like it came out of nowhere, right? It was a $700,000 token and now it's sitting at 200 million. Will it sustain that? We'll see. It needs that organic push to really get it to escape velocity to where there's no turning back, because Fartcoin's not going back. Fartcoin is succeeding. I think Dog Go to the Moon is not going back as well. It's one that's reached kind of that escape velocity as well. Different though. And I think with Bitcoin meme coins, it's hard to get that manipulation from the VC side, right? Because they do that because they make money when they do that, right? They go into a meme coin, they dump on people, but they do it like strategically so it doesn't kill the token right away, or you know what I mean? And it's hard to do that with Bitcoin meme coins. And that's why we don't see that manipulation and them jumping straight to $1 billion, because it's mostly 95% organic, or retail tries to manipulate, but they don't have the deep pockets, you know what I mean? And it just doesn't work the same. So the organic side is what is going to make these Rune meme coins succeed 100%. So, but the good news is we're coming up into like that part of the market to where it's mania, and these can thrive to where some of them go to a place they never look back. And that's what we want, right? Whether that's Dog, Magic Internet Money, Pups, Billy, and the Big Six. Maybe it's only 4 of the Big Six, but there's a certain time that it crosses over a certain market cap, that it reaches a certain viral, I guess, like strength, to where it doesn't turn back. Like you saw that with Doge, you saw that with Shiba, you see it with Fartcoin, you're going to see it with, Dog. I truly believe that. But what other Bitcoin meme coin runes are we going to see that with? That's the question.
Yeah, and I think that's a great question too. I think that you broke it down really, really awesome. I think it's going to take a big KOL. Do you think? Do you think we need someone big to come over here, or do you think we already have the tools in place with Leonidas, with Vincent, with Dan from Cardano, with Wendy
Dog is
O?
set
He
up.
kills it. Dog
is set up perfect for
Okay.
this. Once the time is right for retail to get in, Dog will, in my opinion, hit escape velocity, go viral, and I think the Coinbases, the Binances will have no choice but to list it. I'm saying it's probable, but does that mean it's 100% going to happen? No, nothing's 100%. No one can predict the future that well, obviously, right? But I think it's set up. It's set up perfect. Now, the other ones, that's the other question, right? Like, because if you think about meme coins on chains, like Ethereum is one chain that has multiple meme coins that are in the billions, right? You got Sheeb, you got Pepe. What else do you have on Ethereum? Flocky is not quite at a billion, I don't think, but it's multiple hundred. So I would say those 3 are definitely success. Not really. Flocky's a little bit kind of dancing a little bit, but it's here. And it's like, I would have never said it would have made it this long. So which Bitcoin meme coins will be though that kind of, I don't see 6 being able to last.
Yeah, I think you're
maybe 3, 4, but maybe not. Maybe because it's Bitcoin.
Well,
maybe
and Pups are here to stay. Like they just have the 2 big
culture
players behind them, Farmer Joe and Maven Spot, right? Like I just can't see them ever getting below, any other rune. I think that they pump together. Gizmo, Billy, and Lobo, 3 communities that are super strong, but we don't know. Bongo's just not, that guy yet. Will he get there? Potentially. I mean, he's definitely on the road to being, one of the bigger voices in the space. But like he could push Billy, he could like Billy, but Gizmo with Ness and them, their efforts are amazing. But Lobo, apparently, I don't know anyone that pumps Lobo on a daily basis, but it's one of those things where I definitely see Min, Pups, and Dog being the top 3 forever when it comes to runes.
Yeah, and we also don't know what the runes ecosystem is going to look like once there is an Arch network that's like constantly like tons of liquidity flows in there, or once mainstream mania does come and retail is back and they're just like, oh, the meme coins on Bitcoin, how are they going to respond to it? Because they're not here still. Like institutions are pushing the mania that we've seen so far, guys, and then everything else is crypto Twitter. So Ethereum getting to all-time high breaking that all-time high is one of the, I think, milestones that kind of starts to trigger retail to kind of peak over again. But there needs to be a lot more positive, a lot more winning, because winning attracts people that haven't been winning, right? And so that's what they want to be able to win. And what are they going to look for once they hear like tokens that live on the Bitcoin blockchain? They might just logically just put 2 and 2 together in their brain and say, I miss Bitcoin, but I won't miss these meme coins that live on Bitcoin. I mean, that's been the thesis since day one. That's the reason we came over, right? Is the BRC20s and stuff like that really excited us initially.
Yeah, 100%. Really excited for this ecosystem. It does feel, remember BRC20s in, I want to say like October, like September of 2023. It was just like, it was very similar to this, right? Ordi was like $7, Sats was still being kind of minted, and we didn't really have a lot. Track was like 30 cents at the time, right? It had its first run up there in September, and then the explosion happened in November, December, and January, right, of 2020. Was that? Yeah, so the beginning of 2024, right? So yeah, we'll see what happens. All right. The next part of this though is a 2-year low calm before the mega bull. So I found this amazing chart that kind of really kind of pushes into this right here. So as you can see, the volatility is, if it's red, it's high, and if it's blue, it's low. We've never in Bitcoin's history really had a span like this here. I mean, the yellow a little bit got a little bit with some dumpage here in 2025. But recently, I mean, we've never seen this. This is a 2-year low on the volatility of Bitcoin, which makes Bitcoin very similar to the S&P 500 with the Dow Jones.
Yeah, and we've been talking about that, right? Like how it um how it's kind of come into this new stability to where it's not as volatile. But we're also saying this in this build up to a bull run year. I wonder how it's going to respond whenever we are in the bear market, right? That's the biggest test, obviously, is how does it respond once it's actually in the bear market. But I think it's going to respond much better than previous bear market cycles. And I think bears are probably going to be a little disappointed because they expect that volatility to the downside. But who knows, maybe like at the point whenever it does chill off and cool down a bit, we're at 250,000 next year. And, going down to like 180, that's still a big opportunity to short, right? From 230 to 180. So there's still going to always be opportunity there, for the perps and leverage markets, but not the same as going from 60 to 16, right? Like in terms of ratio. They might be holding on a little too long in this bear market on their short positions, and then end up getting wrecked because they got greedy.
Yeah. Yeah. I just don't see that with Bitcoin though. I don't think anyone's getting wrecked this cycle. I think you have a lot of strong hands in there now. And maybe with
No, I
some
mean on the
with alts and
downside,
stuff,
like
I just don't see the downside really happening. I think that's
that's
my
not.
problem.
I'm saying, but I'm saying the
Yeah.
shorts will get wrecked on the downside.
Oh, I got you. I
Because
got you. I got you.
because let's say they go down from they take a short position at 230 and it goes to like 180 and they think it's going to
Gotcha.
like 120 because they're greedy because they like
Yeah,
every
yeah. Okay.
previous bear market. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I meant by that.
Gotcha. Yeah, makes complete sense. Yeah, I'm with you with that for sure. And the last part of this is kind of like the calm before the mega bull run. And I'm the biggest indicators for me on this bull run that's coming is the Bitcoin dominance. I mean, this thing has just been just completely tanking now. As you can see, we did have very similar here, and people were saying, hey, this could be another fake out. But then it went back up, got back to all-time highs, and came back down. It doesn't feel that way this time. It does feel with Ethereum near its all-time high. It does feel like this thing's going to just drop drastically to potentially, 44 in November, December. And I think that's going to happen. It's going to be very quick. It's going to be giant candles, very similar to what we've seen back here in 2021. I think we're about to see that. And I think, if you want to say this is the start of that, we could see 1, 2, 3, and this is a weekly 4, 5, 6, 7 weekly candles that are just red, leading us down to this 44, 42. This could be the bull run that we're kind of expecting.
Yeah. This is definitely like a good strong indicator, right? It's like whenever you see it start to crash, we see. But it's funny because you see that green candle, the small green candle in the middle there, in that Bitcoin. We thought maybe it's going to reverse back up, and we were kind of like, oh, this sucks. But then you saw really quick Ethereum start to show a lot of strength again, and it started to really pour down again. So that I agree with you. I think we see some extreme like downtrend for the dominance chart here. I don't know if it happens. We don't look. I think it continues in August down, but I do think we maybe get a little blip like that again in the beginning of September, to where it's a little green again, and then really like just down to, like you said, to that 44 range after that. But nevertheless, if you zoom out, it's a downtrend that's happening. Yeah, something
Like this.
well, I think that we kind of missed that, right? So I think we take another leg down, but then something possibly like that in September, like something like similar what we went through maybe in September, earlier, that one, yeah, in maybe like the beginning of September or something like that, where Bitcoin isn't necessarily dumping super hard, but like maybe Ethereum takes a pullback, and this is after getting to like 5,200 or something like that, because we still have about 2 weeks left in this month, right? A little more. And I expect, not to the very last day, but like I know we still have bullishness for Ethereum. I can tell you that.
Yeah, 100%. But like, look at this though, right? We had this consolidation here, but like once it started to dump out of that, it just dumped. And like
Straight
same thing
down, yeah.
here, a lot less consolidation. But I mean, same thing. Once it's breaking down, you know, it could just completely just drop. I mean, just like
Yeah.
it did here, right?
It could. And so my scenario that I talked about might not happen if it replicates that. And the reason why we might have a lot less consolidation is because the previous cycle Ethereum wasn't manipulated as much in terms of in the spring. And this spring it was completely sold down, and the narrative was it's trash, and Solana and XRP are overshadowing it and all this stuff, only for institutions to kind of slowly be buying it, and then eventually in the summer say Ethereum's the next Bitcoin, right? Like, so it was the most like sleekest move for these institutions, but that's why they're in the positions they are, right? Like, I'm sure Tom Lee's salary is somewhere in the right at $1 million a year or something, right? And he makes the big bucks because he's smart and he makes big decisions. Like, a tough decision that you're going to get a lot of pushback on is selling all your Bitcoin for your company that's named BitMine, mind you, BitMine. Yeah. It's the name of the company. He sells it all and turns it into Ethereum and basically turns BitMine into an Ethereum holding company.
Yeah.
Whether that's for the short term, it doesn't matter. That had so many people's jaws drop at the moment. I guarantee you so many Bitcoin maxis were just like crying, and they were probably like, why is he doing this? He's doing it because he's an opportunist. He's a capitalist at heart. And so he sees what the opportunity is, and that's Ethereum for the rest, in my opinion, for heading into Q4. That doesn't mean that Bitcoin doesn't go up. Bitcoin does go up. It continually goes up. But the opportunity to make more excess lives in Ethereum right now for the short term.
And he's already doubled his money. Right, the time he got in, it was like 2,600.
Oh man,
at 47. So
imagine having that much power, though, bro. Like, and you got to give credit to SharpLink. You got to give credit to SharpLink. They were the first, treasury big company that came in the headlines and all that stuff. But Tom Lee was literally the pivotal moment to where Ethereum started to get hyper aggressive and strong.
100%. And like that's one of the indicators, right? This is another one though. Every time we've dropped below 95 here, let me get this straighter. We've seen just a huge, alt season, and it looks like it's about to happen again. We did see some consolidation here, but that's, we've seen that in the past as well, especially like right before it dropped. So I'm thinking, dude, it's time to drop it. This is the DXY. I'm thinking it's time to drop. I mean, it's only $3 away from there, which is 3%. I mean, this could happen, but this indicator and this indicator are yelling bull run.
Yeah, they are. And it's about time, right? I mean, we're sitting here August of bull run year, right? And Ethereum's been suppressed all the way up until really, I guess you could say April, because that's whenever it started to turn around from that really extreme low of $1,800. But January, February, March, April, but still, like, you're coming up from $1,800. So no one's taking you serious at $2,000. No one's taking you serious at $2,200 in mid-April, at $2,600 in late April. They didn't start taking you serious again until you passed $3,000 in late June and July. Then they're like, oh, okay, this could be it. And it was like, it's the human conditioning, man. Like, I'm telling you, it's like the psychology of beating. It's like, what's that syndrome where like you basically train your prisoner to start to have empathy towards you, and you're doing bad stuff to them, right? And so now they're like, I forgot what it's called, but anyways, that's how I feel the market was with Ethereum. It was kind of like, we were just like brainwashed, not in the same way, but I'm just saying, like, you're brainwashed to think that like it was done, it was over, it's nothing, it's worthless. And then finally, that's the FOMO kicks in at 3,000. Then the FOMO starts, Stockholm syndrome. There you go, Stan. Thank you. And I know it's not exactly what I'm saying. I'm just more about the brainwashing part. And now we're all saying Ethereum's amazing, right?
No, 100%. And they did it with the Trump's tariffs too, right? It was just like, it's everything's gonna go. It's like they manipulated markets down and everything too. It wasn't just Ethereum, but Ethereum was, had its biggest drop that I've ever seen since the last bull run. But it dropped down to $1,300. We almost got the bear market lows of 900. That's where a lot of people were saying, but then it just ran and ran and ran 3x from that point. So yeah, 100%. They really, they really weaponized the markets on that one for sure. But let's jump to the hottest news thing today. So OKX announced a strategic upgrade to X layer and will permanently burn 62 million, 62 million OKB from historical buybacks. Yeah, 65 million from historical buyback and reserves. So the chart, man, what do you think that chart did?
And yeah, probably jumped up. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. Look at that thing, dude. Obviously, it got overbought, and then it retraced a little bit, but still, dude. This thing was hanging out at
Do you short that right now?
$44. I think they are no, because they burned half of the supply. So the market cap, in order for the market cap to be what it has to double in price, and it doubled in price, right? So it doubled in price. So it's conditioning here, but like the people who knew about that made out like crazy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And there was people that knew about it. But let's think about this though, right? So you're gonna see more of this kind of stuff, guys. This is OKX kind of strategically trying to pump their token, right? And what you're going to see is legitimate, chains or projects that are strong, but their token price has been kind of, just stagnant because we haven't really gotten that full green light from Ethereum yet, and all these things. They're going to be creative. They're going to find ways to pump their token because they want to join the party. They didn't wait for a year and a half to 2 years, and their big investors didn't wait for a year and a half for 2 years just to sit on their thumbs and look at their token just stay stagnant while the blue chips run. Right. So, I don't have a list of tokens that are going to do stuff like this, but I'm just telling you, be prepared and research for, get ahead of it. Try to, if you're locked into your community, you know what I mean? People made out like a bandit, like he said, on this somehow, they figured something out, or they just held. And now, OKX, big institution, out of Asia, doesn't really surprise me, but, SPACs, buybacks, burns, stuff like that. Get ready, because I'm telling you right now, we're going to see more and more of this. And this is stuff that will bring retail back in as well.
Yeah, 100%. And like this was half of the supply just gone, right? Just burned into the ether, basically, just done. And the token has to go up to sustain the market cap, and it has to. And they probably planned for this, but this is, you're right though too. You might see this is bull run stuff. This stuff happened in 2021 a lot of times, right? Where out of nowhere, there's news every day. There was news, and it was just insanity, bro. And I think we're going to see that again. I think this is just the beginning. You're 100% right, but we're going to see more of this for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that. And then also, BNB, has been doing burns and stuff in the past, so it's not like it's a new strategy, but it's a strategy. I think that's the timing is what we're going to notice, that a lot of these strategies start kicking in here.
100%. I jumped to the next thing here. Google searches for altcoins exploding right now. Remember, we talked about it about a week, 2 weeks, probably about a month ago at this point. But this is it now. Last time we checked it was like here, and now it just continued now, and potentially we're going to be at 100 very, very soon in interest over time. We haven't seen this in a very, very long time. Actually, pretty much like ever. So this is very exciting. Retail's back, bro. They're coming back. It's slow and steady. But right now they're doing the research to see what they should get into.
Yeah, this is an indicator as well, right? I think this is just the start. They're probably searching and feeling, lost, and it takes some time, and they're waiting for more confirmation, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. Because right now, the confirmation, in my opinion, a confirmation that we have officially, like the gun has been shot to start the race, is something like Fartcoin going to 2 billion, like going from 1 to 2 billion and increasing, right? because once that happens, you know that like there's people pouring in, getting ready. And I've noticed it too, like in the trenches, you know, there's more and more of these like runners that are happening on a daily basis, but they're runners that don't last longer than a couple days, but they get to like 1 million to 4 million. These teams that are farming or getting them, and if you play it right, you can make money on a lot of those, on all of them actually, if you play them right. But the thing is, the teams are back that are like, okay, let's get this token to 4 million. Let's farm, you know, I don't know, like 6 figures out of it, and we're done with it. I mean, that's a strategy, right? And then one out of, you know, 10 to 15 to 20 of those can last to get to 20 million. And so you know that it's starting to come back. The degeneracy is starting to come back. Liquidity is starting to come back.
Yeah, 100%. And you know that you know, with them starting the research, I mean, you could start seeing buys really soon. You could really start seeing a lot of buys happening. Yeah, 100% right. All right, jump to the next story here. My bad, my screen was up when I was moving along there, but so Memecoin Launchpad Odin.fun suffers a $7 million liquidity exploit yesterday. Bob put apologies for the delay. Did you hear about this at all?
I did.
I really didn't see.
Yeah, I read it, man. It was. I just feel for Bob because I know that like he's been working so hard on Odin.fun and every time they reach like a good milestone, they get something happens like this, you know, and it just sucks because he wants to give the experience that people are asking for, and once he's able to do that, like you know, there's groups of people that take advantage of it, you know. So I'm hoping that, you know, look, every other time it's happened, he's been able to survive it, but it seems like this one has been probably the largest one, you know, significantly larger than the previous ones, to where the treasury is having a hard time, you know, compensating the losses.
Yeah, and what happened was it was an upgrade that happened a few days ago, that left an exploit in the code, which allowed people from someone noticed it, reached out to a group of people, and they all kind of went in at the same time and took liquidity from. So it wasn't from like personal wallets. That's happened last time. Remember, Bob's wallet got drained. This was actually just the liquidity that was in the pools that got drained out. So they took the Bitcoin and the coin. They dumped the coin as much as they can to kind of keep taking the Bitcoin, and then they transferred 60 Bitcoin off of Odin.fun in a matter of seconds. That should be something that, I mean,
well, I feel like it should be they should flag like a certain amount that's trying to come out. But if they're doing it with bundled wallets, that's the problem.
That it was 60, it was one Bitcoin, one Bitcoin.
Exactly. You know what I mean? And so, or maybe they can do some sort of like alarm system to where, you know, if there's like 20 Bitcoin within, you know, a certain amount of time, then it gets flagged or something like that. Obviously, these guys are really smart, and so they probably have already, you know, thought of all these ideas. But I just don't know what else you can do at this point.
Yeah, and you got to remember too, like doing an EVM project is easy because everything's already kind of thought out. Everything's there. Everything, you know, everything's been done before at that point. With ICP, everything's kind of brand new still. Like there's not been a lot of projects that's really built there who've went through stress tests, and Bob's going through his you know, his 2021 moment, right? I mean, with the new DeFi and everything, or 2020 moment here, where I mean, there's a lot of exploits in DeFi summer, tons, because everything was brand new. And Bob's kind of going through that right now. But I do think Bob comes out stronger. He keeps flashing the Odin.fun rune ticker, which is Odin.fun 7 digits here. I think that in a month or so, you can start doing 7 digits, because every 3 months it drops a digit or a ticker letter. So I think he's going to be dropping Odin.fun. So he might do a pre-sale or something with this to try to get the funds back to people, and then potentially an airdrop as well. So I believe in Bob. I believe what he's doing, and you know, I think he comes back from this stronger than before.
Yeah, I think, you know, we hope so, right? It's been tough, you know, but like the crazy thing that you just said at the end there is what he has done. He has come back stronger than before, almost on every instance. And you know, I don't want to beat a dead horse, right? So we don't have to keep talking about the exploit part of it, but like the response has been, he's got like, there's a higher market cap token, and I'm just like, how is it in I did see a ton of support in the comments too. I mean, from the Chinese community for him and stuff like that. So you know, keep your head up, Bob. You know, what you've created has been obviously the user base likes it. And hopefully we can, you can get some of that Bitcoin back. That's obviously best case scenario, but still keep moving forward, I think is what we'll see from him.
Yeah, and he's getting police involved. He's contacted, multiple sources. So he basically saying, if you return the Bitcoin, we won't go deeper with this. But if you don't, we're coming for your head. And I love that. I think we should all kind of. I mean, that's the law. If you go to the bank and you find an exploit in the bank where you're able to get a bar of gold out of there, if you get caught, you're going to jail, right? Like it's not anything new. You can't just steal from places. Like it's just it doesn't make sense. But
yeah.
Let's move along here. Crypto fear and greed. So a lot lower than I thought. That's my first hint for you. Last week we were at 52. Yesterday we were at 60. We're up a little bit. We're up a fair amount from 60, but not as much as I thought.
64.
Pretty much 63, 64. I think is a really good guess there. We're right there in the greed here. I thought we'd be like 60. I mean, ETH is at $4,700 just about, right? Just under. Like, and we're only in the 60s, bro. There is so much room to run here. It is going to get nuts. It's going to get nuts, dude. We're going to see this in the 90s for like 3 months. 3 months. And it's going to get crazy. I'm excited. This is just the beginning.
Yeah, I agree. It is pretty low, but like you said, that's a bullish thing because I feel like you said, a lot of room to grow. If 63 is a $4,700 Ethereum, then I think a $5,200 Ethereum, it's probably going to be more around 68, 70, maybe 71, which still, to me, I think is suppressed a little bit. And I think we do need to probably see some of these, like the next $1 billion coin on Solana and stuff like that. That hasn't happened yet, but that is kind of a good thing because know that we still have that. So
something's gonna run and something's gonna run hard.
It's like, can I catch it? Can I hit the lotto ticket?
But let's get into that Bitcoin price action and crypto bubbles brought to you guys by Artura.finance. Artura, these guys are building something truly special, in my opinion. They're building a leverage trading platform on Botonics. We are very bullish on Botonics here. We think Botonics is going to be something that's going to be around for a long time. They have great leadership. We did an interview with the co-founder last week. If you haven't seen that yet, go watch it. Botonics is doing really something cool with the multi-sigs, decentralizing them. Really awesome and different than anything that we've seen in the past. So really looking forward to that. But I think, the guys over at Artura, they're building the #1 dApp over there. So think about that. You have a chain without a coin. People get into dApps. Look at Coinbase. They don't have a coin for the chain, so everyone just pours in the Aerodrome, right? Same thing is going to happen here. They don't really have a coin here. They're going to pour into the best dApp, and that dApp could be Artura. You definitely want to head over there. You definitely want to bridge in to Botonics, and we're going to put out a full airdrop video because there's a lot of opportunities over there for you guys to make out insane. You're going to make out a lot of money, and Artura is probably going to win one of the biggest there just by getting over there and using that leverage trading platform or using their vault, locking some PUSD in there. That's up to you. But $5, low leverage, probably going to get a nice, decent amount of points for that. And we all know what points equal. But go over and check out Artura.finance today.
Absolutely excited about what that team is bringing to the Bitcoin ecosystem. You're going to be able to trade, go to the moon and stuff with leverage and perps, which is going to be really fun. But before we get into the Bitcoin price action, guys, help us out here on the X side. Let's get this live stream shared. Help us out with that. Hit that like as well. And then on the YouTube side, smash that like, sub to the channel, all that great stuff. We appreciate all your support. Same thing with Abstract, the Abstract crew over there. Share the stream. And then all the other channels as well, Twitch, Kick, and Spotify. Let's jump into some price action, guys. Bitcoin, we're starting with Bitcoin as always for the hour chart. And we are well above the 50-day EMA, which doesn't really matter as much because it is the hour chart. But, staying above that is always a good sign, right? You can see here the MACD is showing pretty good momentum on the hour chart, especially with that pullback that happened. We thought maybe we would come out of this momentum here, but it looks like we might be trying to build back up here for Bitcoin. Bitcoin's been a little bit hard to kind of read because, it's like up, down, and it's like Ethereum's been up. So it's kind of like, Ethereum's been the easy one to read, and Bitcoin's been a little bit tougher, which has not typically been the case for this year up until I would say July. It's really flipped kind of the script there, which is great for alts in the alt sector because Ethereum's strong and doing its own thing, not hanging on to Bitcoin Bitcoin's hand there is always a great sign and indicator. But let's look at Bitcoin's price action, maybe where it's going to be heading today. We are back above 120. That's a good sign for Bitcoin. You can see the MACD looks good, like I mentioned earlier. Let's look at the support and resistance at the levels that we're at. Let's kind of squeeze this in here a little bit. So going from 4 a.m. this morning, you can see kind of the transactional volume and see who's winning this war between the support and resistance. We are winning on the support side in this no volume zone right here. The volume really doesn't get picked back up until about 120,700 on the downside, and then on the upside, I would say the significant volume really starts to pick up at 121,750. Okay, so anything in between, it can be volatile because there's not a bunch of volume, right? Meaning that like we get some really strong buy bids, we could push up here, and then you can see if we do make it to the volume areas here, the support is looking pretty good in this 121, 780, 800-ish area, but then we get kind of blocked right above that. So we got to really push hard, and hopefully we get rebalanced here, because the resistance definitely owns the 121, 900 all the way to, I would say, 122, right? And then it balances back out. So, I think pushing up here and then constantly trying to, get through these levels of resistance is going to be key for Bitcoin to continually go up. Let's look at the downside though. So if we do see this kind of pull back, what does that look like? It could really run down here, but we do in these no volume areas, we do see way more support than we do resistance. I mean, it's all the way down here. So, again, some big sell bids could push it down, but it's definitely more on the support side. But when we get down here, it's still support. Man, like really, the problem is we got support in this entire region here, so that's good, but we start to hit resistance where we want to head. So we got to get some big buy bids to push us up and kind of continually chop away here to get back into possibly seeing all-time high for Bitcoin. That could happen, guys. We're so focused on Ethereum, and I say we because I'm excited with when Ethereum's trying to hit an all-time high, but Bitcoin's right around the corner as well. So let's keep that in mind. All right. So second half of today, it does look, that scenario is kind of tricky, right? Because we can continually try to knock, but we might continually get rejected in these areas up here. If that happens, then eventually what happens is the buy pressure gets exhausted, right? And that's where we can see kind of going back below 120. So let's just kind of sit. I don't want to put anything because I really don't know how it's going to play out. If we do get those strong buy bids, then yes, we could see an upward trajectory and Bitcoin getting back above 122. But I think it is a challenge because we are here in the buy pressure, and it's already been exhausted once before, and I just don't know if that exhaustion won't get too much and then it reverses a little bit. So I'm gonna see how the hour chart plays out for the next 2, 4, 6 hours, because I would not be surprised if it does get exhausted is what I'm trying to get to here. But pleasantly surprised if it does break through and we could see that above 122. If I had to make a bet, I would say probably get exhausted after continually trying from the upside, but not a crazy bleed out or anything, just kind of going back down into sell pressure. But again, we'll see what happens there. Let's take a look at the 4 hour. 4 hour is showing that it wants to come out of this, sell pressure that didn't last very long, and it was pretty weak. You can see, we went from 122,250 all the way down to 118. Not anything out of the norm for Bitcoin, especially the past month as Ethereum's kind of been rocking and rolling. Bitcoin's been ranging between 120 and a 116, even touching down to 111 at that one point. But it seems like recently it does kind of swing between 120 to 117. So that's kind of been the range that we've been swinging to. But it does look like the fast line is trying to pass the slow line here for the price action for Bitcoin. If that happens for the 4 hour, we do get a strong breakthrough of that resistance on the 1 hour, we could go into buy pressure here on the 4 hour, which would be great. And then if that happens, we could see that new all-time high right around the corner for Bitcoin. So that's the 4 hour for Bitcoin. The daily has been pretty consistent. We have shown, two green days in a row. The red day in between the past 4 days hasn't really been, it wasn't that significant. It actually shot up, but it got eaten back up here. So I mean, this is an uptrend is what we're seeing here, right? We're seeing an uptrend, possibly like an uptrend pull to like maybe like a bull flag or something like that. But let's see how this ends up playing out, because we did have a lot of sideways consolidation through the month of July when Ethereum decided to kind of go on its own journey, right? With that pullback going all the way down to 111, now starting another uptrend leg here. So it's not, you know, these single huge legs necessarily like this, but it is, you know, this is good because this is like consolidation with uptrend. And I think that's great whenever you have that, because it's more formidable, it's stronger, and less likely, in my opinion, to see a huge downtrend happen after that. So I like where we are in the daily there. Taking a look at the weekly. Weekly is staying alive. You know, you see here the leg with the kind of sideways. Hopefully we get another leg starting here again. Let's see how we end on Sunday. Like I said, we have some bullishness on the smaller time frames. We could, you know, possibly on a Sunday evening try to hit a new all-time high for Bitcoin. That would be great. All right, so that is Bitcoin for you guys. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Let's first take a look at the hour chart, because we did get kind of beat up on the hour chart a bit. You can see here we were looking pretty good up until about 4 a.m. We were at 47.12, and really we had this candle wick all the way up to 47.40, man. And this has been a little bit of a shocker for me, because I didn't expect us to challenge the new all-time high this week. I was more in the camp that, yes, you know, it's looking good, but you know, I see it more happening on possibly next week or the week after. But look, we are right around the corner of, you know, possibly hitting an all-time high. And I know Shizzy said maybe by Friday. So that'd be great. That would be great. We got 2 days to get there. We'll see if that happens. But this pullback that we're seeing right, yeah, well, maybe tomorrow. Yeah. We're seeing this pullback here, you know, and it's expected. Like, I don't think it's anything that people should freak out about. Look, guys, we got up to 4,700 and then had a candle wick to 47.40. So, you know, some of these TradFi entities, these trading firms taking profit, perfectly normal. So we have this downtrend here. Maybe we start an uptrend again. So that I'm going to be continually bullish on Ethereum for the rest of this month, or a majority of it, until I get confirmation that is officially turned around, which I don't see that happening. In fact, whenever it does calm down, I think it's going to be more of something similar that we saw, you know, once we got to like 3,800, we saw that pull back to 3,500. I think maybe high 3,400, something like that. I think we see something similar in September. Maybe we get to 5,200. Maybe we pull back to like 4,900 or something like that, and then we pull back up to kind of go into Q4. But the 4 hour looks pretty good here with Ethereum. It does look like we're exhausting a little bit, but you know, wouldn't be shocked if today we do have this pullback day, and then tomorrow we go green again. And, you know, it's kind of, sometimes it flip flops. It's never always up only. I mean, those are rare occasions that happens, right? So I think we look good there. Let's take a look here. Just want to give you guys some reassurance, because the monthly chart looks great. This candle looks amazing. This is a great start to the monthly chart. I'll say that, man. And this is why I'm so bullish, because, like, I mean, look at this momentum can't, you know, this MACD candle, guys. I mean, look, even right here, like when we started to go into strong momentum, the first candle is like the third one. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, this is super bullish. This is super aggressive, man. And so maybe we get one that's smaller in September, but maybe the later part of September it gets bullish again, right? So I don't know. This is one is not like the other. I always bring that up here. This is the one that's not like these. This is past resistance, and we're right here, guys. This is the all-time high. We are right here. So that's, I mean, I just don't know how you couldn't be more bullish than the way you should be right now. You should be very bullish on Ethereum and the alts. But yeah, that's the Ethereum for you guys. Hopefully that gives you guys some insight on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Let's take a look at some of these crypto bubbles for you guys here. OKB up 103%. We talked about why that's happening. You know, they did burn half of their supply, which is going to create a crazy supply shock. So OKB, for all those that benefited off of that, congratulations to you guys, as you know, you guys are the winners for sure. Fartcoin up 22% on the day, even though it pulled back some due to kind of Ethereum pulling back and stuff like that. And Fartcoin had a big run. It was at 82 cents like 2 days ago. And so the fact that it's going and becoming aggressive is a good sign, in my opinion, because what does that mean? That means, in my opinion, that like Fartcoin's about to run, and some of these alts are about to run as well, like the memes as well. You see Doge up 6%, Trump up 6.6%, Dog with up 9.2%. The pump token is green. All is good, I guess, if pump is up in the green. Stacks up 4.1%, Arbitrum up 15.3%. There must have been some news with that as well. ADA up 7.4%. Cardano's looking decent. Radium, I mean, everything looks really good. Radium up 13.7%. Say up to 10%. Solana up 8.9%. HTX up 4.2%. Ethereum up 4.6%. Aptos is up 4%. Optimism up 6.8%. You got Tau up 4.1%. AVAX up 3.6%. Bonk up 2.9%. Near Protocol up 6.4%. Pepe up 2.1%. I think when we start to see Pepe, when we start to see SHIB really get aggressive to the upside, man, I think it's game on for alts. Seriously, like those are because we've seen Ethereum, but we haven't seen the Ethereum memes really get aggressive. Flocky, another one, I think the third largest probably on Ethereum, is up 4.2%. Hyperliquid up 2.7%. Aave up 3.5%. SHIB up 2.8%. Let's take a look at the top 200 here. All right. Eigenlayer up to 10.2%. ZK, zero knowledge, up 16.9%. Zora, I almost took a long on Zora, man.
Got beat yesterday.
That's why I almost took a long on it, because it had such a good day 3 days ago, and then yesterday got beat down, and I was like, this is perfect, do it. But my brain was like, no, man, you don't know how much the bleed's gonna come out. I should have done it, but it's all good. It's up 9.4%. Snek up 12.6%. Popcat up 5.3%. You got Starknet up 10.3%. White up 8.3%. Cubic up 13.7%. Core DAO up 2.8%. Pith up 4.3%. Gala up 5.2%. Toshi's pulled back. Interesting. I wonder what happened with that. It's down 5.7%. You got Syrup pulling back. Maple's token here, 4.2%. Meme Land pulling back 4.3%. And then where is our Dog of the Moon? Up 2.4%. That's always a good sign when Dog is in the green, but that is going to be the Bitcoin, Ethereum price action along with the crypto bubbles, guys.
100%. Yeah, man. Great job on that. Let's jump over to the next thing here, which is roll call. So every day we like to showcase that first comment, and congratulations, somebody new. We got Merlin's Lucky, and I'm pretty sure it's your first time. We'll be checking on that to make sure. But congratulations, Merlin's Lucky. All right, cool. And I'll show the screen here. And I'm not showing it. There you go. But yeah, Merlin's Lucky. I think he got his first win of the year.
Congrats.
Kind of getting, yeah, man. Merlin Lucky again, and then Tim Baker was right there. Tim Baker was a few minutes away from the number one spot. Web just congrats a lot. Merlin's Lucky, yes. Mats is here. The Mats 1+@ is here. Shout the 1+@ my guy. Rare Sats Dom is here. Shout the Rare Sats Dom. 1=X is here. Shout the 1=X. I feel like 1+@ and 1=X. I feel like they're friends. I don't know why, but shout out to you guys. Bitcoin is Truth is here. My guy Abstract says Pups will be number one. You think Pups passed Dog? Yeah, I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know. K99 is here. Chips and Dip says Hype is a beast. Yeah, the Hype token I think will do really well until it doesn't. But we'll see. Until it gets attacked. Joko, shout out to Joko, joined the membership. Thank you so much, Joko. You will potentially get an airdrop from us of our meme coin that we're dropping this Sunday live, guys. We're dropping it live. So there is a members video. We asked to drop your Solana wallet. I'm thinking now we have them drop their Bitcoin wallet, and we do it on the Bitcoin side of the airdrop. We can talk about that more. But just let us know what you guys think. Would you guys rather want the Solana token or the Rune? But it's going to be 1-to-1 on the bridge, so there will be, you can bridge it over, bridge it back. So, but awesome, Joko, congratulations to you, and you will be getting an airdrop, my friend. Make sure you put your address in there when we ask for it. Spindrift is here. Shout out to Spindrift. He says, my whole portfolio is up. Yeah, today's a good day Well, it was until a few hours ago. Vader Time said today we could see a pullback, in my opinion. Yeah, you are 100% right on that. Satoshi Nakamoto says, yo, Chief Axel is here. Shout out to Chief Axel. Toast is here. Let's effing go. My guy, Toast, the legendary Toast. Shout out to you, my friend. KDN says, GM, let's go Billy and Billy Katz. Yes, very bullish on Billy. Billy Katz could do well. Could do well. Malam Yuri is here, says, let's go. Glass Hopper, the legendary one. Appreciate you, my friend. Cash Cats with the coffee and the donuts and the dog. Go to the moon. Shout out that Cash Cats, my guy. ASAP Benji is here. Shout out to ASAP Benji. Myself, ETH dominance looks powerful on the monthly. Others, the follows. Yeah. So, I mean, it's ETH season, right? But ETH season leads into the rest of them. ETH isn't all. You guys can say, each season like that, like I just said, but ETH's an alt. So technically it's all season. We'll see. Myself says dog will flip Shib, believe it. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I could see it.
Yeah.
Cash Cat says I agree. Mim, Pups, and Dog bullish on Gizmo too. Such a fun community. Yeah, the Gizmo community is the best. Stan says is Odin 100% on chain with ICP. Yeah, they're 100% decentralized to the best of my knowledge for sure. Then we have Rick G says long live OnChain Revolution. Thank you so much. Cash Cat says looks like Hustle is running. Yeah, I was looking at that as well. Hustle's back over 20 million.
Is it?
If anyone, yeah, it was at 10 million like last week. It's crazy.
Oh,
100%. Corona says donation. Corona donation says why no one talk about Memento Mori token created by original founder? Because it was I don't know.
He needs to talk about it. Casey needs to talk about it.
That's the problem, right? So there's no one pushing. There's no community leader. And if you want a Corona donation, if you want to be that leader,
yeah,
do it. Stan says when St. Altman meets Jake, he will fall in love. I don't know about that. Nocturno is here. GM. Shout out to you, my friend. No says GM to all. And finishing up right now with Hillbilly says GM. Thank you, everyone who makes roll call each and every day. We appreciate every single one of you guys, but it's time to jump into our next segment here. So every week, we like to showcase one of our partners, and that partner today is the great guys over at Sats Terminal. Sats Terminal is building something truly special, and if you're buying runes and you're not using Sats Terminal, you're making a huge mistake because Sats Terminal will give you the best prices. How? So Sats Terminal is doing the hard work for you. They're going out, they're checking Unisat, they're checking Magic Eden, they're checking DotSwap, they're checking. There's even a couple more that we're going to talk about today that they're checking for you to make sure you're getting the best price. So you don't have to do that. You go to DotSwap, you put your Bitcoin in, you choose the rune that you want, or Alkane. You choose the rune or Alkane that you want, and they find you the best price. Definitely better than Kraken, in my opinion. I know everyone's excited for the listing of Kraken. I still buy on Runes Terminal every time I buy because there's also a bonus of Amber Points. Amber Points is going to be something that they reward the community with for every trade, and there's going to be a lot more coming with that. Really excited. And, there is some cool stuff coming really soon, too. So without further ado, let's bring them up. Let's bring up Stan, the CEO. Stan, welcome back to OnChain Revolution. Thanks so much for being here, sir.
Yo, DM, everyone. How's it going, guys?
It's going well. How are you?
Perfect. Busy with the stuff. I think every time I come to your podcast and you ask me how are you, I'm telling, I'm busy. People think that I'm boring. I'm just busy. But yeah, no, we are doing a bunch of cool stuff and nonstop work. I was telling someone recently that when you become a founder of a startup, especially in crypto, it moves so fast you don't have time for anything else. And that just becomes your number one priority, your baby. You want to always get to the next step. So,
yeah, well, especially for the Bitcoin ecosystem too, because there's so many moving parts, and you don't want to be left behind, right? And especially for like an aggregator like yourself. But I think it's good that you're busy and you're saying that every time, because if you said nothing, I'm bored, I have nothing to do, then I think people would be worried.
No, I wish. I was just sending screenshot for my Monday calls to Rishabh. And by the way, Rishabh will also join us a little bit later. Nice. And on Monday I have calls something like from 12 until 9 p.m. back to back. Sometimes you just need to do it, right? Sometimes you just need to do it. But yeah. That's also like a little bit of hint, like why I'm doing all of these calls, because I'm slowly planning our next round. I'm thinking about the seed round, and we're slowly preparing for that. I think in the last couple of months, we showed quite a decent progress. I think most of the runes volume is now coming through us. Most of the on-chain volume on some given days, we've seen like probably more than even 85% coming through us.
Wow.
Due to our integrations, yeah. And bunch of new stuff is coming in. So we are packing all of that into juicy seed round investor suit. So probably in the next couple of months, you would see even bigger announcements than the last one. You remember the previous announcement with Coinbase Ventures and Tim Draper? Oh, it did so much engagement. We got everyone was just writing us, congratulations, guys. We want to get that back, but on a bigger scale now.
Wow. So that sounds like some hints in there. But the biggest thing that the audience should take from this is you better get your damn Amber points. I mean, like, go earn your Amber points. I don't know what else we should tell you. When they're going multiple raise rounds, and the first round was Coinbase Ventures. I mean, like, the only thing I could have left is literally write it out in a piece of paper and hold it the entire time. So just go earn your Amber points. Really simple to do on satsterminal.com. When you connect your wallet for the first time, you get 1,000 Amber points. But let's get into some broader market stuff, Stan, because like
real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
I just want to say too on that. I just want to say like so when you guys got your raises, right? I
Yes.
felt like it was a win for the entire ecosystem, not just for you guys, because I feel like runes up until that point were like really neglected. And when you guys got those raises from Coinbase Ventures and Draper Labs, is that what it is? Yeah. So I think that was just such a win for the Bitcoin crypto ecosystem.
Yeah, I mean, that's not crypto. I think it's just for Bitcoin Fi definitely.
Yeah.
I've seen that guys from Maestro just recently did like the BTC Fi report for the last year. They included how many companies raised in total. I think the total number was something like $171 million Bitcoin Fi companies raised in total. Some of the biggest names, some of your partners, some of our partners are there. Sats Terminal is there, and I think that's amazing. You see this kind of views, they were popping up, every month. I think that's great. It's a little bit more quiet now, so that's why we want to break the silence. I think that's like one of our styles of managing the business. When things get quiet, we want to drop big news so everyone is like, oh my god, this guys again, they raised money, they partner with all of the companies in this space. So yeah, I'm not sure if that answers your question though, because I started talking about something completely separate. But I think in an essence, TLDR, definitely it's great it's amazing. You open X page of a startup that was not existent 7 months ago, you see such great names they're raising. You think about, oh my god, I'll go build my own product. I want to own my future. I want to go and do it. So I think that's great. And one of the episodes I was telling, they're like, in my opinion, we see on the surface level like 50 startups, but there are 500 dormant startups. And those people, the dormant one-person builders, they're sitting at home, they're getting inspired. That's amazing. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
100%.
Agreed. Welcome to the stage, Rishabh. Rishabh is the CTO of Sats Terminal. He handles all the technical side of everything. And so his team is amazing, by the way. The devs, they update the site within seconds. So welcome to the stage.
Thank you. I was wondering, like, how did I walk into Stan being a self-help performance coach? I was like, what happened here?
Yeah, Shizzy kind of guided him to that with that comment there, which is great, honestly, because like it does need to be highlighted that when a project in the Bitcoin ecosystem gets a big win, like getting fundraising from big brands like Coinbase Ventures and stuff like that, it helps the entire ecosystem have more confidence and stuff like that. But that actually, kind of brings me into this question I have for you, Stan, because you have kind of constantly, how can we expand, how can we be better service to the end user and all this stuff. And I know that you and Rishabh, you guys brainstorm about like the Bitcoin DeFi, the Bitcoin ecosystem. My mentality is that like eventually, want to help the end user, right? So whether that's like you guys started off on the Bitcoin ecosystem and you have products that kind of cross chain and stuff like that, they won't care, the end user, at the end of the day, but you guys are solidifying the Bitcoin part of it. Is that your vision? Is to like one day Sats Terminal is like some like in 2 years, like just the end user that's new to crypto. They don't care if they're on Bitcoin. They don't care if they're on all these other ones. Or do you want to be just, we are Bitcoin product, and you want to be really known for that?
I can say for myself, I want when people are thinking, like when you're thinking about Bitcoin right now, you're probably thinking about Michael Saylor and strategy. I want people to think about the strategy and Sats Terminal. So
Gotcha.
that's what we want to be there. Bitcoin, like I can also like give a little bit of alpha. You have like a bunch of listeners. Some of these people are trading. Like 100% of my portfolio is Bitcoin. Of course, I have like some percentage allocated to runes, some percentage allocated, but like most of the portfolio in crypto is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is number one. It's pure gold. It's a cyber boomer way of accumulating money, probably. It's like gold. I feel like you buy a little bit of Bitcoin, you put it into your digital storage, and that's it. It will stay there forever.
I wish you could say that. I barely have any Bitcoin. Everything's runes at this point. But I value my portfolio in Bitcoin. It's just in dog.
Yeah, no, that's also important, of course. I'm just saying that like when you are like looking at if you're a new trader, you're coming to the crypto space, you have so many distractions. You should always start with number one cryptocurrency. It's not going to happen that Bitcoin goes in one night from $121,000 to zero. So like in that regard, it's a safe asset. And also runes, when we are trading runes, when we are trading our ordinals, it's always connected to Bitcoin. So for us, for people in the Bitcoin space, everyone who's holding runes, trading through Sats Terminal, it's amazing, guys. You might lose a little bit in price in Sats, but eventually you keep the Sats Bitcoin always going up. So
yeah,
100%.
Yeah. What about from a CTO perspective? Because I imagine that your mind kind of probably, goes to a lot of places because you try to imagine how, the project can really just have tentacles, right? Are you in that same boat from a technical perspective that you want to be known as a, strategy Bitcoin, Sats Terminal Bitcoin, or is it more of, at the end of the day, like, yes, your Bitcoin foundation, but like you guys can help like any end user that it might be more comfortable on Solana or Ethereum or Sui or something like that?
I think I think I talked about this a little bit on the previous show as well, where like our product, like the loan product Use Hedge, is already cross-chain. We bridge the Bitcoin, wrap the Bitcoin over to CBBTC or WBTC on like Arbitrum, Polygon, Ethereum, and Solana, and to like process the loans. So we do have that element of cross-chain support coming into the tech that we're building, because that helps and enables things to happen on chain. But the core tenet of it is still, and I think will always be, Bitcoin, where there's an element of a on-chain transaction, or as Stan was saying, as Bitcoin is the hardest money, it is in some way being used as a sort of value in the system. So what we want to be is like the everything Bitcoin aggregator, where it's like everything you want to do with Bitcoin, you always know that Sats Terminal will have the best prices for you, right? And that could be you want to trade runes or BRC20s and these fungible assets, or this could be like you want to get a loan against your Bitcoin, which is pretty common and big use case. Or third could be you want to get yield on that Bitcoin. And in all those three cases, you just know that our aggregator is always going to be routing the order to whatever is the most profitable outcome for you as a user, while also being the best user experience on the market ever. And I think like it's a big goal. Like it's not an easy goal in itself. So like before thinking of like whether we want to support Ethereum one day, it's like we've got a very big mountain to like climb over first, of like just building Bitcoin compatibility and really providing best rates for borrow, for yield, and everything. And that's going to be a lot of work. And once we are at a very good place for that, like who knows what the future holds, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I one day come on call and I'm like, guys, I'm sorry, we're pivoting to XRP. We've done everything we could for Bitcoin. We're the ones that are taking XRP to $1,000. Is that going to happen?
Well, I'm not even talking about pivoting. I'm just talking about being versatile, which you guys already are. You said, you're doing stuff with Arbitrum and all these other tech stacks. But that's a good segue into this next thing. Do you feel like the Bitcoin ecosystem, marketplaces, and like DEXs, because you guys are an aggregator, so you pool to get the best price and the most liquid availability. Do you feel like we're sufficient enough right now with the marketplaces and the DEXs with the liquidity we have now, or do we need more? Start with you, Stan.
That's a good question, but like it's I'm
don't
thinking
get you don't have to get political here.
No, I'm not getting like a simple answer. I think yes, it would always be better. Like from aggregator perspective, the more platforms you have, the deeper liquidity is, the better rates you provide. The more participants on the market, they might have different types of technology, different fees. Yeah, I don't know, like DotSwap is doing the new update. They would be changing something with their pools that allows more customization. If there would be more players on the market, you would likely get always better price, and it's better for the end user. That's for sure. As for DEXs and marketplaces outside of runes, things that are also like we see a lot of innovation in the space, like altcoins came in probably like 2-3 months ago. Right now, there's a lot of hype going on around Spark tokens. So definitely there is a need for new platforms. And there is also, I think, a opportunity for new players to come and build a DEX or a platform for one of those new assets that are coming to the market. And for us as an aggregator, that will only be great because they build underlying platform, we integrate, and now our users have exposure to that asset. So short answer, yes, but you see, I like to extend it a little bit.
Yeah.
Short answer, yes, definitely. Yeah, let's get more builders, more platforms.
I think it was a perfect answer too, right? Because if a new standard pops up, I know that Sats Terminal is probably already thinking about it or already creating it, right? Like with Rishabh. So that's the best part about Sats Terminal. I know that it's a one-stop shop. I know eventually I'll be able to buy everything from there and get the cheapest prices. But like, so you guys recently, and I don't know if this is public, but you're looking into expanding, the different swaps and stuff. Is that public yet? Is that something you guys are looking into? And if not, where are you looking to potentially integrate next?
I can definitely say that we are very close with Spark guys, and we're looking into what they're doing. We were following their launch on Sunday. I think we spoke about that a little bit with you guys as well. So we're looking into Spark. We know the team. I think Ethan, Leo, and the guys, they're just amazing. We want to work with people that have interesting ideas, that are smart enough, and they understand what they're doing. So we're definitely exploring that part. We're still waiting for BTC to altcoins swaps for oil AMM. We would add that as well because it's already almost integrated. Yeah, we just need to add a couple of bits on the tech side, and that would be done. So yeah, I think we're looking at, and I think we can. It's also safe to say that we're planning to add a Rich Swap very soon.
Nice.
That's awesome. Could you explain to anyone who doesn't know what is Rich Swap and why it's a little bit more difficult than what you guys added so far? Maybe Rishabh, you can answer that.
Yeah, it's like Rich Swap is simpler to integrate than RadFi, some of the new ones, but there's still like challenges where there is like a deposit transaction and then a swap transaction. And so far, everything that we've built has been atomic, where it's like a single transaction and you can see the Bitcoin leaving and the runes coming in. But now it's like a multi-step transaction. And so it's like it changes how we structure things on our backend and also the UX for the user, where they see multiple transactions in their wallet. Some wallets support this sign multiple PSBTs, some don't. So that leads to like a incompatibility with some wallets, and then you need to like make them standard one after the other. Luckily for us, Unisat, Xsource, all the big ones support multiple sign PSBD, so it keeps things simple. But at the same time, also like DotSwap just announced V3 last month, and DotSwap V3 is the same. You no longer have one on-chain transaction, but you do two. You have like a deposit transaction and then a swap that also sends the tokens back. RuneDex moved to the same thing too. I think it's for security, and but with the benefit of DotSwap V3 and the Rich Swap is it still feels atomic, where you know what tokens you're going to get at the time of committing your first transaction. But in the case of RuneDex, it's like you wait for the first one to confirm and then get the second one, which then you come to know what tokens you're getting, which is a little bit worse UX, because until the block confirms, the price can have big swings and sorry, and it can change the outcome of your swap. But that was like, yeah, long-winded answer, but basically that's the key difference in like what's changed with Swap and DotSwap V3.
I think that was perfect, because a lot of people don't understand the differences of them. But with Sats Terminal, you don't really have to, right? You're just going to go there, and if you have multiple transactions, doesn't matter. You guys are going to make sure that whether it's PUPS or something I'm buying, it's real cheap on Rich Swap. You guys are going to make sure that I get that price, no matter how many transactions are in my wallet, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we just see them both in your wallet, and then you can like, I think Xverse. I'm not sure about Unisat. I've seen this on Xverse. They show you still like a summary of transactions, so you can still see across these transactions what are the net changes in your wallet, which I think is very useful. Yeah.
Gotcha. What would you recommend? Is there any wallet that you guys kind of recommend people use?
We've not really picked any favorites, but like, I mean, we like Xverse, guys. They have good tech and they move fast. And obviously, if you have Xverse, then when you swap in wallet, you're using Sats Terminal, so that makes your life easy as a user. I mean, Tokyo does that too with us, so and I know they're your partners as well. So you could use Tokyo as well. Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I have a question for you, Rishabh, because you're obviously in the technicals and everything of the protocol. Would you say DotSwap is kind of been talked about with like having the most liquidity? We know TVL is like what stands out, right? We've seen Uniswap kind of come from when it started to being this huge monster. On Solana, we saw Irradium, we've seen Jupiter, and now Meteora. They kind of solidified that chain as well. On Bitcoin, I feel like that's where the problem is kind of like the TVL doesn't compare to those two different areas. Am I wrong with that, with DotSwap being kind of the leader, but it's still significantly smaller? And why are people not adding TVL like they do for Uniswap and Solana dexes?
I mean, it's I think just to break that down, right? Like whether you're wrong about like the TVL being small, like
yeah,
we're like the leading aggregator. We have the highest market share in terms of like swap volume. Yet if you compare us to Jupiter, we're like non-existent on those charts, right?
Yeah. I don't know if you understand what I was talking more about like DotSwap, not you guys, because you guys aggregate.
Yeah.
But DotSwap supposedly is the largest TVL of the dexes. Yeah. You guys just aggregate, so you guys are doing your job. But like, and this is not a knock. I'm just wondering, like, what is holding people back from adding TVL to DotSwap to make it like robust, like Uniswap and like Radium?
Yeah, just getting that. So basically, it's like, so I think even like our relatively smaller volume is a function of the size of the market. So like looking over the past few months at our growth curve, it was like hockey stick growth over like 3 or 4 months, and then like we flatlined a bit over the past couple of months. And that flatline was like the glass ceiling of the size of the market just being smaller compared to Jupiter and I mean Solana and Ethereum. And then if you go like a step further and break that down, okay, so now we know that we have lesser TVL because the market is smaller, because there's lesser demand and supply. Okay, why is there lesser demand and supply? And I would personally say it's because of two reasons. One of them being the opportunity cost of providing, liquidity and like TVL to something like DotSwap is just so high with Bitcoin, given that you can have impermanent loss with all of these AMMs. Like when you deposit, let's say $1,000 of DOG and $1,000 of BTC, if the price does go in a certain direction, you are exposed to directional losses or directional gains. And I mean, basically you're exposed to that changes in price, which then added with you might not be, because it's kind of like a reinforcing feedback loop where it's like uh, you can have like directional losses, but then when you want to get out of the position, there might not be enough liquidity in the market for you to like sell all of it, which just makes it harder for market participants to have the trust to add huge amounts of TVL. And also, like, the other thing is just the opportunity cost of Bitcoin going up a lot compared to Solana or Ethereum, right? Like, I'm way more happy to degen with Sol, and I'm definitely more careful with my Bitcoin in comparison when it comes to like providing liquidity. Yeah,
I think that's
That makes a
actually
lot of
the
sense.
best answer I've gotten, because
Mhm.
like we thought initially all the Bitcoin assets would rise with Bitcoin. No, in 2023 the assets went crazy because Bitcoin was stagnant. But once Bitcoin hits the kind of the peak, I think that's whenever we're going to see this crazy boom. So great answer there.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I agree too, because like I
Mhm.
don't want to like put liquidity in for dog and Bitcoin, because I'm gonna if as dog rises, I'm gonna sell my dog into Bitcoin. I don't want to do that yet, right? So that's yeah, it's huge. Stan, what are you most excited about over the course of the next 6 months? Is there anything that stands out to you where you're just like, I can't wait?
In crypto overall or in Bitcoin?
Well, in Bitcoin, with Sats, even with Sats Terminal, even if you're thinking like, there's something to roll out the feature, just something that you're most excited about in the next 6 months, something that maybe it's a bunch of things, maybe it's a few things.
For Sats Terminal, it's a bunch of things. I can definitely highlight not all of them, because some of them are still like very internal, but definitely excited about launch of our borrow aggregator. I think it's an amazing product, and we have a very good vision for it, and a bunch of partners are coming around that product as well. So I'm very excited about the soft launch that we will be doing with closed private community, and then the next steps and how we will be rolling this out to public. I'm excited about the GTM strategy, some of the ideas that we had. I think it will be completely next level marketing and product launch from our side. More prepared, let's say. It would be very, very clean and nice. So I'm very excited about that. I already mentioned that we will be looking to start raising our seed round soon. So I think it's also, most of the founders say it's very difficult. They don't like it. I actually absolutely love it. I think it's amazing. I think it's just great. You're coming to the calls with investors, all of these people, they manage hundreds of millions of dollars. They hear hundreds of pitches probably every month, and then you're becoming one of them. That's amazing. That's very rewarding. So I'm very excited about that part. And we're exploring also integration with Spark. I think that's exciting. I don't have the answers yet, and please don't ask Rishabh about that. Give us a little bit more time. Maybe next week we will come a little bit more with more information about that. We're still doing our homework, but excited about these three things for us. And Bitcoin overall, well, macro situation around Bitcoin is extremely exciting. I think people are just tired of good news, and they're not so like reactive to what's happening in the market. But just recent news with Trump allowing to put some of the money in the retirement plans, I think that's just huge. They now they can invest in Bitcoin, and some of the other news that are coming from US. We'll see. I'm actually very much looking into what will be happening in the macro situation, what will be happening in the world in the next couple of months. Hopefully we would have more stable economy, less conflicts, and more prospect for growth for Bitcoin and all of the underlying cryptocurrencies.
100%.
So I think that's
more capitalism.
Definitely. No, let's just let's stop wars, and instead let's start trading like there is no tomorrow. Let's exchange goods and services, make more money, and everyone is rich. That's all I hope for.
Great answer. I love it. Yeah, everyone prospers in Stan's world. Let's go. Final question for you, Rishabh, man. If Stan cleared your calendar, gave you a blank check, said you can build anything you want, anything in this world, I'm giving you the time, giving you the blank check, what would that be?
Something funny incoming, I can say.
No, like a serious answer is just like it wouldn't be anything different from like what we're building now, right? Like it's how we operate today. He doesn't put anything on my calendar, and he gives me a blank check. So this is exactly how we operate today.
Oh
So
wow.
nothing's gonna change. It's and at the end of the day, like if we're not building what we think is the best product to be building, then we're like wasting time, and we don't like wasting time.
And
So-
you're always
Couldn't have
working.
answered that better.
Yeah, he's always working. So SaaS Terminal is the best place to live, work, and play, is what you're saying.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I could say. I have an interesting statistic that I was just like looking at our dashboard, and I realized that it would be fun to share. So in the past 4 months, we've had nearly 20,000 transactions go through the platform. And given a Bitcoin block has around 3 to 4, like let's say 2,500 transactions, that's like 8 Bitcoin blocks that have been generated in the last couple of months from like transactions through Sats Terminal, right? And that's like good amount of miner revenue. That's like 500,000 times 8, around how much is that? 4 million. Yeah, 4 million in miner revenue that's come through Sats Terminal. And if you like, extend that to the amount of money Runes and Ordinals has made for miners, it's great. It's a great service, right? It helps protect the blockchain. It helps keep Bitcoin secure. And I think that should be talked about more.
Yeah, so this is a call to action for miners to support the degens of Runes, because we are helping you guys and helping secure the
100%.
blockchain.
Yeah, 100%. It's important.
I also have an interesting statistic. Exactly 1 year ago, like in couple of weeks, start of September, we started Sats Terminal. So it's almost our first anniversary.
Oh, nice.
Congratulations.
Very soon it's happening.
Yeah, I think that's a huge milestone in this space when you make the year. You know what I mean? Like, you make the year, man. You guys got to celebrate that.
I think it was not that bad year. No, it was not that bad year.
Yeah, it was a good year. It was a good year. But I'm just saying, startups in this space is not easy. So that shows that you guys have a good plan, structure, and team. So congratulations to that.
We hope so. Thank you.
Thank you.
This has been absolutely amazing, guys. I really want to thank you for your time. I know you're both super busy, but we'd love to give you the stage one last time and talk to our audience. If anything you want to have the stage is yours.
Yeah, I just wrote a message. Earn your Amber points. Just go make transactions.
He did it for me.
That's exact. So your users, they not only hear, but they also see Amber is everywhere. Go get some Amber, guys. I think like you're not serious about Amber right now, but then you would be just reminiscing about the times when we were giving it just like that. So go grab your Amber. Also,
your future self is screaming it, right?
And I think in 1 month we would have the end of our like big promotion. Amber is forever. We will be distributing the prizes, and I just want to say that when we were collecting some of these prizes, the Runes market were almost at the bottom. So most of the tokens actually grew up in the price, and there's quite a big pool. So go make a couple of transactions and get a chance to pretty much participate in the free lottery with a big chance of winning something. Thanks.
Love it. Absolutely amazing. Rishabh, any last words, buddy?
That's what we're gonna run with. Just go on your Amber soon. Also actually I could also say now, it's like if you all want to get, like, if anybody in the audience wants to try out our Bitcoin loan product, reach out. We're setting up a private beta group, and Stan, I think we can invite people in that are interested in helping us test out. So just it's an open invitation. Anybody interested in helping out, come on in. We'll have some incentives, like we'll waive all the fees for you for a while if you're like helping us test early. So if you want to get a loan against your Bitcoin, cheapest rates, then you know where to find us.
Yeah, just go to our Twitter and just write, "Hey, I want loan from Stan," and you will enter in this amazing raffle with 0 fees. I'll personally onboard. If 100 people will reach out, I guarantee I will personally onboard 100 people, but no more. 101 don't come. No, go better farm member. Don't come. It's too much of onboarding.
And I always say this whenever a team comes on here and they offer you guys in the audience to join like a beta test group, you got to take advantage of that, because especially if you're looking to get a foot in the door just for communities, you know, this is how you network. So take advantage of that, guys. But appreciate both of you guys. You know, until next week, take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Take care. Bye.
See you guys. Absolutely awesome. As always, one of the best teams that I really admire in crypto. I mean, these guys are absolutely amazing. Let's jump to our next segment here, which is a new segment that we're just starting. It's called News from the Trenches. So I've been sending Yagobi deep into the trenches. He brings an umbrella and he dresses in a NASA space costume just to make sure that he's safe down there. But he's been going down there and he's been taking a look at a lot of things and kind of getting a feel for what is going on in the trenches. So everything we talk about real quick on this is very degen. This is the degen part of the show. So just so you know that, nothing in here is obviously financial advice ever, but nothing in here is us saying, hey, buy this, not like that. It's just news from the trenches, and I'm excited for the first one.
Yeah. So the first kind of segment of this is just in the basics. It's right. I went over this actually in our members video, so you get a lot of this information before if you are a member. So if you are interested in joining, it's very simple. It's in the link in the notes, show notes there. You can join our memberships, $10 a month. It's well worth it in my opinion, but that is my opinion. So let's take a look here. Kind of starting with the basics here. So GMGN, for you guys that are in the trenches, you know, bear with me here because a lot of people don't, you know where to get started. And for me, I've been using GMGN, which is basically it's like the most efficient setup of like one of these meme launch pads, except for it aggregates from all the popular launch pads on Solana. And so I believe in the future that there's gonna be a GMGN or something else that does this, like with Solana, Bitcoin, BNB, all of them in one spot. But this is just Solana, and as you can see the little circle here with the Launchpad logo. So Let's Bonk Fun is this one, and you go scroll down, which there's a lot of just bonk on here. Do I have it set to that? Let's see. No, I don't. Let me reset that though. Yeah, so you'll see Pump Fun. They have like a pill. You can see the Pump Fun is the one with the pill over here, but there hasn't been many Pump Fun ones that have completed lately. Anyways, so the way I look at this is the new tokens are coming through. So it's the more left you go, the more risky it is, right? So the new ones that come through, 95, 96%, 97% of these will just go straight to zero. You know, they'll try to get you sucked in. They will never hit the bonding curve. 3% might hit the bonding curve. But when they get close, when they get to like a 90% or higher or high 80%, they'll get pushed in the completing section here. And then when you get to the completing section, it gets a little less risky, but still very risky, because I would say in this one, there's probably 70% that never bond out, and 30% will probably bond out, but then you know, they'll move over here to complete it. And then you can see here, out of the completed, I would say out of the completed, there's a good 80 to 85% that go to zero. I mean, they're just gonna, I would say 85% actually. 15%, you're lucky if they don't go to zero right away. You know, out of the 15%, 10% will eventually go to zero. But they'll at least get to, like, you know, 6-figure market cap. So you're talking, you know, 200,000 to possibly like getting up to $1 million, but then they'll die down. And then out of the 5% that's left, you'll have the 5%, I would say probably about 3% of the 5%, if not 4%, will get to, like, you know, 2 to 5 million, you know, maybe 1 to 5 million, I would say is safe. And then out of that, they'll just eventually just run out of steam, and then they'll eventually go down to zero or whatever. And then you got the 1% left, right? Or 2% left. And out of those, some of them will go to 10 million, 20 million, higher, they'll fluctuate back. Some of them will make their way back as well. So I bring this up because, you know, there's a learning curve with this. Like if you know meme launch pads, if you use like Odin.fun is very similar. If you've used you know, what's it called? Moonshot, right? On our abstract is very similar, but this is like to the degens, like the most degen. This is like the extreme because it's Solana. But I will say you will come across a winner. Yesterday was an example. You know, I was just pretty much just not even hitting the rim on all my shots, like, you know, airball and everything, just trying. I was like, damn, it's a tough day. And then there was a trend that was happening on crypto Twitter with orange is the new era. And it was, you know, being posted by like Taylor Swift and like I think Philadelphia Flyers account and all these different, yeah, like a bunch of like, so it was going viral. So instantly I saw people on crypto Twitter saying this is the next routine, and the routine was the guy that was, you know, Ashton Hall that was doing his routine thing that went to like $20 million market cap. So I got in at like 800,000, I think, around there, and I was like, come on. I was like, come on, man, come on, like this got to be the one. It ran to I got out at like 15 million, but that's like, that falls into that 1%. And also you can't fall in love with the trend ones, because the trend ones will eventually fade off and die off, right? So I got out at a good time, and it kind of saved my day, or my couple days, maybe my week. You know? But the whole point is that whole breakdown that I just explained to you is degen as hell. But that's what the trenches are. I mean, you know, I don't live here all the time, but you know, I definitely, there's a fun aspect to it, but it's definitely that high risk, right? Another one that has ran recently is one called Stupid, and it's almost like the less logical that it is, the more chance for success it has. But you also have to know, you know, every ecosystem has their cabals. They push tokens, they do this and that, right? So as you can see, like I'll look up Stupid. So Stupid was, and then also a lot of these have ran before, but like they just didn't run at a good time, right? Like it wasn't like the Memecoin mania time or whatever, right? So you can see this right here. Stupid is at 2.8 million. It was right struggling at 1 million earlier today, and it peaked at like 3 something million, right? It's a little over 3 million. But if you look, you know, some of the things I look at is holder counts. That is something I would look at. Also, I use Photon to buy quickly, to get in and out quickly. You can use Photon or Axiom to do that.
So you're researching here, but you're buying on Photon?
Not Photoshop. Why did it do that? There we go. Yeah.
Let me know when you're ready.
I mean, I don't have anything to hide.
No, I'm just saying.
Yeah, but
for me,
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Any personal information, we don't want that to get out.
Yeah, yeah. That would be funny though. So Photon, for example, right? Yeah. So I do research on GMGM because I feel like it's like really good to see the trenches. You know, kind of see those 3 different categories that I showed, right? These 3 different categories right here. But then like I'll copy like an address, right? I just copied the Stupid address and I'll plug it into Photon, because Photon does give me a little bit better, deep, more in-depth information. So once I get to Photon, I'll see, I'll go to holders, I'll click on that, and then it gives me like, you know, the dev is holding 28% here. Okay. Or sorry, not 28%, but 0.28%. So he hasn't sold his entire stack yet. And then I'll see insiders 3.42. Honestly, there's gonna probably be, you know, a little bit of all these things, but some like the bundle amount, you don't want that to be super high, because that means that like someone has like 100 different wallets under one main wallet account, and they're probably going to dump on you eventually. And then the fresh wallets is kind of like, you know, someone creating brand new wallets. That's not necessarily a good sign. So this one has a little bit of risk to it, right? The Stupid NU. The reason why it took off is because the Bonk guy, one of the founders of Bonk and Let's Bonk Fun or whatever, he posted, you can see right here, if you, this is another thing too, this right here is the socials right here underneath the thing. Okay. So when there's a 3 silhouette thing right here means that there's a community on X for it. So you click on that. I never go to the Telegrams. I just feel like it's too risky to go to a Telegram.
Yeah.
I look for like a community. So I see the value in these communities now. I used to not. I would be like, that's kind of stupid, right? Even though I know we started one, but it's like, you know, I feel like they're more used for these like degen things, right? But you can see right here, like, so the Bonk guy, he said, let me elaborate on what mania means for new cyclers. Simply adding NU to your shitcoin could send it to $100 million market cap in hours, days, last cycle. You could literally call your token football NU or stupid NU, and it would run to $100 million rapidly, provided half a decent team with a few C-rated influencers to push it, is basically what he's saying, right? So people taking that and they're running with it, and they, you know, have already gotten it to like, you know, $3 million. Now, that doesn't mean that this is going to go to 100 million. Actually, in my opinion, has less than it's a 1% or less chance for it to go, in my opinion, to like 50 million or higher, right? And I'm just kind of throwing those statistics around a little bit because it's just so hard to get to the next level. But, you know, a token that you might not think could get to the next level does. Like, for example, there was a token called Clippy, and the little helper on the Microsoft software, whenever you bought like a computer in the 90s, that little Clippy would be like, can I help you? It would come out. There's like this whole like viral movement going against like AI abuse and stuff like that, and it like went to like it went to 30 million, and I got out at like 4 million. So when
hold on, AI abuse,
like
yelling at the machines.
No, using AI in the wrong way. Basically.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it was like this is what AI should be like. It's like Clippy to help you, it should always be to help you. So that's a little bit about the degen kind of practices that I use, and it's not, look, you probably get wrecked if you copy me exactly, but you know, there's just, hopefully that helps some people, right? So that's the new thing that is and then also be careful, man. Like some of these teams, they are like colluding, and they will dump on you Swift. One practice that I use consistently is make sure that, you know, you are taking your initial out. And I do that. Like if I get into a coin at 1 million, I'll, and that's a great thing about Photon is you can do sell orders. So I could do an auto sell here. Let me show you guys. Sorry, I'm not sharing my screen. So if you go here, and let's say I bought in at 1 million at let's say I bought in at 2.6 million right here, and I bought 10 sol worth. I would go to a take profit right here. I would change this right here from market cap is, and I would go to double what the market cap is right now, so 5.2 million, right? And then I would set the sell amount to 50. So I'm getting my initial out when it hits 5.2 million, and then whatever I have in there, like it's just house money. You know what I mean? And I did that actually with that orange token yesterday, until the point where I was like, okay, I just want to get fully out because I felt like it was going to reverse. So you got to use your regular gut instincts as well. So this is a little bit of, you know, hopefully that helps you guys understand a little bit of how it works and stuff like that.
I got a few questions if you don't mind. So my first question is, how do you like see RNG? Obviously, you know, you're looking on there. Did you get lucky when you found it? Did you just see something in it? Did like what was the process right before the buy?
Please, Jesus, stop it. Like, oh, promise, please, Jesus, I'll stop doing this. I mean, that's just kidding.
I mean, that works, right? I mean, I'm down. I'll try it. It's good. I mean,
no. Okay, so be serious about it. I clicked into it. I went into the community.
What made you click into it?
The fact that it was it had been around for at least like an hour, and it was fluctuating between 700,000 and 900,000 market cap. So I know that it had at least like gotten through that first phase of not going to zero after hitting between $100,000 and $300,000 market cap.
Okay.
Right. So I'm like, okay, it got through, which that's the easiest. Once you have the first step of success is not going straight to zero after you complete. And then the second step is being able to get above 100,000 and be able to kind of range between 100 and 300,000. And these are kind of my perspectives, right? But it works for me. And then after that, the next level is that 300 to a million. I feel like, you know, you're kind of you'll fluctuate between 300 and 700,000 maybe for a bit, and then if you can try to tease at a million. So it was at that phase. So I said, okay, let me take a harder look into this. Let me see if there's, you know, actual community here. Let's see if there's people actually believe, because there's teams that just farm tokens and they'll put people in there that are like, yes, this is going to $100 million. And I'm just like, shut up. You know, you're dumb. Like in the community, like, you know what I mean? They're just, you can tell when it's genuine or when it's not, a little bit at least.
Gotcha.
And then check their follower accounts too. If there's like 10 followers on like 6 different accounts, those are fake, you know. So I would look, and then that's what got me to that next level. Right. And then once I got into that next level, I started seeing posts about Orange Era. Taylor Swift posted about like the Orange Era thing, and I was like, okay, this has a little viral effect. Viral effect is huge with these meme coins. And so, you know, but you know, that's basically what got me there. And then but same almost exact scenario of Orange. Not the only difference was it wasn't like this viral trend thing as much. There was an AI token the night before called Send, and I did all the checkout things. They had an amazing website. Like it was the best LARP I've ever experienced in my life. Like it was amazing. And
amazing LARP wasn't
because the website was just like so good. It was so good. And then like, so I got in at like 800, 900,000, and it went to like before I went to sleep, it went to like 4 or 5 million. I woke up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, and it was at 600K because the guy, so this is the dangers. And that's whenever you're kind of like, dear Jesus, please, this is not real. Look, at the end of the day, this is a big high risk area. I want to be very clear about that. The Bitcoin meme coin ecosystem is much safer, but you're gonna get not as big of a return in the short term, but I think in the long term you'll probably get a better return for some of them. You're just gonna have to kind of sit on it, which, you know, I do both. So
yeah, I'm interested. Do you think you could do a 1 SOL to 100 SOL challenge just doing these meme coins? Is that something that's even possible?
Yeah, definitely possible.
You want to try it for the members group? Like, I'll put up the SOL. You just do the work, and then if we do hit it, we'll maybe do an airdrop to the community or something. I mean, it could be kind of fun.
Yeah, let's do it. I mean, expect like extreme degeneracy, but like it's definitely possible, you know, because like
yeah, we can do one in our members video. We'll do like, you know, something like that, what we did in the previous week with that wallet.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That is our show for you guys today. I really enjoyed the trenches thing. Maybe we'll do that more often. It was really cool. But yeah, we have 108 people on X, 107 people on YouTube, and 114 on Twitch. Not to mention everyone on Kick, Abstract, Rumble, and Spotify later. We really appreciate every single one of you guys, man. It's absolutely amazing that you kind of come and hang out with us each and every day. But that is our show.
Absolutely, guys. We thank you so much for supporting us by watching. I think there was something wrong with the X link. Actually, I was looking at it and it's not showing something. Yeah, there was an issue with it. But we appreciate you guys helping us, sharing all that stuff. It helps us a lot, guys, and we are thankful for that. But without you guys, we couldn't do this, and we're thankful for that. Also, without our partners, we couldn't do it, and we're thankful to them. If you guys could check them out, we greatly appreciate it. Sats Terminal is the DEX aggregator swap for the entire Bitcoin ecosystem. They're gonna have amazing products like the lending and borrowing that's cross-chain capabilities as well. But if you're looking to swap for Bitcoin runes or altcoins, you got to do it here. They aggregate from all of the DEXs and marketplaces, so you're going to find the cheapest token price and also the most liquid as well. And you earn Amber points. And these guys are serious builders, and they raise very well. So this is going to be a serious project for a very long time. Head over to satsterminal.com, connect your wallet for the first time, earn 1,000 Amber points. Earning Amber points is not going to stick around forever, guys. So just know that. Take advantage now. satsterminal.com is the place to go. And then Emblem Vault is the interoperability layer for the Bitcoin ecosystem. Right now, you can actually vault your ordinals, your Taproot wizards, take it over to Ethereum, and then take a loan against it on the Gandhi application on Ethereum. Right now, they support Taproot wizards for borrowing and lending. Also, you're going to be able to do all the other ordinals and counterparty NFTs as well. And then they're going to open it up to abstract base, maybe Merlin, as well as Solana. And speaking of Solana, you can utilize their AI product, which is the best AI product in Solana and one of the best in all of crypto, in my opinion, is AI Agent Hustle. Right now, you can use Hustle as a guide, which I do use, by the way, whenever I'm in the trenches. I forgot to mention that. I used them yesterday. And so you can ask them, hey, what are some good, higher risk, but higher return plays for low money using, or safe plays? He'll come back and give you some options. He gave me a couple options yesterday, and it's awesome to use. Right now it's free, but they are going to integrate a subscription service with the Hustle token, which is actually bullish on the Hustle token because of that. But awesome team, man. If you know who these guys are, Jake, Adam, Shannon, Chris, all of them, man, this team is going to be one of the best and most growth teams in this cycle, in my opinion. They're everywhere. Bitcoin, Solana, they're going to be supporting EVM as well very soon. Speaking of Bitcoin, they have a Bitcoin Rune that's coming out, and their TGE is coming on block 915,000 called the Emblem Founder Vault Keys. If you go to OpenSea, you can actually purchase a pre-sale NFT for the keys right now. And once block 915,000 comes around, you will be able to unlock the vault and get your Bitcoin wallet with the Bitcoin runes in there. Super exciting stuff from this team. Take advantage of that if that's your thing. We're bullish on it because this is the parent company's Emblem Vault. This is their main token, and they're going to be trying to get it on Kraken and stuff like that, as is going to be a Bitcoin Rune. And they just have an amazing ecosystem with Emblem Founder Vaults, Emblem Vault in general, and then you have Hustle, and then you have Migrate.fun, which can help you migrate. By the way, if you started your token on Pump.fun, you can migrate to Bonk or just manage your own LP. Use Migrate.fun. It's very, very easy. But yeah, make sure you go to emblem.vision for all that information I just broke down there. And then Artura.finance is the perps and leverage DEX of the Bitcoin ecosystem. You are going to be able to trade synthetic Bitcoin fungible tokens like Dog Go to the Moon, $1 billion Cat, perhaps Ordi and Sats as well. But also you're going to be able to trade synthetic derivatives. This is one of the most exciting parts, in my opinion. You can trade Coinbase and strategy right there on Artura.finance. But of course, right now you can trade the Bitcoin and Ethereum as they are live on Botanix, the spider chain. And they're going to be adding the other popular tokens like XRP, Tau, and probably Solana and Sui and stuff like that as well. But you can earn points as well on their platform by adding liquidity to their vaults to make their platform a little bit stronger there. You can earn points and passive income. Also, you'll get points from the Botanix side as they are tracking transactions being done on their chain. So head over to Artura.finance today to learn more about them. And then Tokyo Wallet is the multi-chain smart wallet supporting the Bitcoin and Cardano ecosystems. And now Sui. They made that announcement Tuesday night. So on the Bitcoin side, you can trade for Bitcoin runes as they partnered with Sats Terminal to make that possible. And on the Cardano side, you can trade for Cardano tokens like SNEC as they partnered with, I think it's Dex Hunter. And then Sui's partnerships are going to be announced very soon, but you're going to be able to swap for Sui tokens as well. This team is all about the best UI, UX for their end users. If you have an iPhone, head over to the Apple App Store, download the app, try it out, let us know. Same thing if you have an Android, head over to the Google Play Store. Also, there's an alpha section on their application where you can find our YouTube channel and other YouTubers as well, like Cryptos R Us. So try out the app, let us know your feedback, and we will pass it over to the team. Head over to Tokyo.io to learn more about this team. And the Merlin chain is uniting the strength of Bitcoin through AI. They have their AI product called the Wizard 0.3 version, which they're going to be releasing the 0.4 very soon. 0.3 is going to guide you through Merlin's ecosystem. You can do DeFi functionalities with the AI, but version 4 very soon is going to be coming out, and you can actually do cross-chain stuff. So an example, if you have Merlin Bitcoin in your Bitcoin wallet or your Merlin wallet, you can actually buy Fartcoin on Solana directly using the Wizard. So it's going to be a game changer. There's big dApps coming to Merlin, guys. This team is constantly networking, and they got added to Kraken. Merlin Chain's tokens added to Kraken. I'm telling you, there's going to be a moment where there's going to be this upward trajectory, in my opinion. Now, this is my speculation, so take that for what it is, not financial advice. But I just know how the team works, and they have been grinding for sure. So also, you can help secure the chain with their proof of stake security, either staking Bitcoin to earn more Bitcoin. You get 16% APR doing that, locked up until September 30th. Just remember that. And then for the two options on the Merlin chain token side, there is the flexible, which is the day-to-day. You can claim your rewards every day and then compound interest, stake those, restake them. There is a 7-day cooldown period if you do withdraw on that. So just remember that. And then there is a bonded option, which is a 6-month option, and you earn 45% APR on the bonded option. I don't know if I said the flexible, but it's 15% APR on the day-to-day, 45% on the 6-month. So make sure to take advantage of that if you do hold Merlin chain tokens, because I think that could be, I don't know, for me, that's something I'm definitely looking into. Head over to merlinchain.io to learn more today. And lastly is our partners over from Ordinal Hive. They are doing some big things. They are the fastest ordinal marketplace. They aggregate, so they get them from everywhere. And also, if you sell your ordinals there, you get instant liquidity. So you don't have to wait for 10, 50 minutes. You know, could wait an hour and a half, depending on the block. But they give you your Bitcoin right away. Also, they have amazing trader tools there, like live mempool insights to see if there was something that was accidentally mispriced. You can try to grab it. Also, their dashboard to earn XP is going to be available. So make sure you're paying attention to that. It is going to be airdrop season soon, guys. So that's not something that you want to pass up. Shizzy and I have experienced some amazing airdrops since 2023 from the Bitcoin ecosystem, and we expect that same type, even better, coming up here in the next couple of months. So thank you guys so much for checking out our partners. It really means a lot to us.
Yep. Great job, man, as always. And you guys have a few more minutes, and wouldn't mind checking out onchainrevolution.io. We have some of the best articles dating all the way back to 2023. If you know someone just entering the space, please send them our website. We're affiliating, help them get started and code up to where we are today. New article just dropped, guys. Big text number L1 play, Circle Arc, and Stripe's Tempo signal a stable coin powered blockchain era, guys. This is going to be huge. We talked about this yesterday. This is your chance to get fully caught up in what Circle and Stripe are building to L1 chains. Check it out all here, guys. But not just this one. We have articles every single week. You can just read one after another. They're real quick reads, 2-3 minutes. Pop on to the next one. Take it all the way back to 2023. You'll really get caught up. You'll know exactly what was going on every week, guys, because these articles are the #1 story of that week. And this right here is that. And if you guys need a VPN, highly recommend Nord. I use this every single day, guys, because I don't want to go to these websites and give my IP address. I also like to use exchanges like MEXC, just no KYC, but I like using them because they're really cheap. Like you can deposit Bitcoin, swap it for Sol, withdraw that Sol, or for like pennies on the dollar. It's the cheapest place to do it. But as a U.S. citizen, you don't have access to that. But with the VPN, you do. So get a VPN. You can use stuff like that. Any site that ever geo-blocks you, turn your VPN on and you're good to go. But also that VPNs equal privacy. You like just don't walk around with your IP hanging out. Nobody wants to see it, right? You can use a VPN, you can block it, nobody sees it. Put yourself in Switzerland, put yourself in El Salvador, put yourself anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter. You're just using that server, but highly recommend a VPN, and Nord is personally my favorite. And then our store tab. If you guys need merch for events that are coming up, or just going to lounge around your house, or send your kids back to school with an OnChain Revolution school bag, we have everything here, guys. We're going to be adding more stuff as always. And if there's anything you want us to add, please reach out to us. We can pretty much add anything. Yo, Shizzy, add my PFP. I got you, bro. We can add anything to the store. Just let us know. But that's our show, guys. And remember, we are live Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Central, 8 a.m. Pacific, and 3 p.m. UTC. Check us out all week, guys. And until tomorrow.
Peace.
OnChain Revolution roll call. Market recap. You not bullish enough. No. You're not bullish enough. No. Look at the price go. Bitcoin control. Why you still coping? Price action rolling. Don't fall for bear traps. Swapping indexes and putting it up in the sex. I can take profit right now. OnChain is where I be now. You can never look back. They don't want you to know. How did the market react? Fear and greed gotta die. Now we bridging the tokens and arching the network right now. You know how crazy we are. Nookies are savages now. They know how crazy we are. Chain abstraction, main attraction. On-chain revolution.